What's up, YouTube? This is Buckshot33, aka Boston Chris, and I am back with the final part of my weekend haul video. Well, I should actually just call it my sale haul video. And so I want to thank everybody for watching. Coming to this point, you've made it. This is the end, of this series. So thank you for watching. 6 parts is a lot. I mean, it's that's as much as, that's basically a mini series. So you've watched the the weekend haul mini series. Thank you for watching it all. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun making these videos. It's a lot of fun to be able to show off my collection. So I want to thank you, and I appreciate everybody for sticking with me and for watching through these videos. And now I'm gonna go ahead and just get right into what we have here. So these ones are some of the books that I picked up that were a little bit older. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with a Bronze Age book. We have Captain Marvel number 56, and there's nothing really key about this. He fights Death Grip, as you can see on the cover. It's a really cool cover, though. I like the way that they drew this. Like this is it stands out a lot. And it goes back to what I was saying. There was a comment brought up to me by the Comic Box, and he said that these covers are really, really cool. That really expressive. I made a comment and he talked to me about it, and back and forth. And I can't agree more. Like, I really do feel like some of the older covers, some of the Silver Age and Bronze Age covers, really just had so much more going on than what we have today. All right, we'll do a comparison. Here we go. So, here we go. So we got this book here, and then you have, say, Fear Itself. Similar scenario, I guess. Thor's at the edge of a spear by Odin. Captain Marvel has to go ahead and save all these people, or Death Grip's going to kill them all. Which one to you do you think is more expressive? This one, as far as the art and the colors go, you can tell it's more computer generated. It looks cleaner. I'll say that much. But looking at this, it looks like a lot more time went into this cover than the other one. Not to say anything bad about this. Like this is still beautiful art, but I don't know. For me, this stands out a little bit above what we have going on today. So let me see if I can find the cover artist on this. Look, it says, if you can see in that building, the green building, probably not. Oh yeah, there you go. It says K. Wycheck. So Wycheck made some great art. Like definitely a dude that put in his time and his work. So happy to have that in my collection. I want to collect a lot more of Captain Marvel. I want to get the original Captain Marvel and keep up with the Kree Captain Marvel as well. This is the one who ends up dying of cancer, and Marvel, I think it's Marvel graphic novel number 1 is the death of this Captain Marvel. So and it was a cool book, definitely one that I want to pick up, but I want to collect more of him because he's got some really cool stuff. He has a lot of battles with Thanos, and just overall a really cool character. So moving on, we have, and I'm gonna say this is either the end of the Silver Age or early Bronze Age. I don't know exactly which, but we have Submariner number 42, and the reason I say that is for the price tag, 15 cents. I think at that point, once it had hit 15 cents, the Silver Age is over, and this began the Bronze Age. So another really cool cover. Just get these big monsters that are out here, trying to kill Namor. And, definitely a cool cover to have. So looking forward to, seeing what's inside this book. Moving on, we have The Metal Men, number 10. Oh, yeah, sorry, number 40. There we go. And I like this cover too. This guy shot this lady. And, she's... Let's see. Yeah, you're the first. Huh. So she got shot, and I'm just looking at it as like, you're the first, and we're gonna go ahead and kill all the rest of them. It's just like, so whoever it is that did this, must have been someone close to her because she looks like she's been betrayed. So, you know, pretty cool cover. It's in pretty good shape. There's a couple of, well, actually, so this is inside a Mylar, but I'm going to take it out because it's still bagged. As you can see, along the spine, there's a couple of, you know, color breaks and stuff like that. You know, a few ticks here and there. You know, a little bit of damage down in this corner and stuff. So, but I mean, it was just kind of sitting there, and I'm like, you know what? This is a Bronze Age, either early Bronze or end of the Silver Age. It's just chilling, and it's, you know, 90% off. It's $1. You know what I mean? So, even if it's not a clutch key issue or anything like that, I spent $1 on it. It's the way I see it. So, glad to have it in my collection. Then we go into some actual Silver Age, and we have, and I gotta find a new bag for this one because this one's kind of beat. So we have, this is Superboy number 132, and you know, these, like I was saying in my last video, I think these kind of just sat there because, you know, nobody had, you know, they're older books. And as you can see on the spine, I mean, there's definitely, you know, they've been read, they've been, you know, they've been definitely, you know, used. People, you know, someone whoever had this really enjoyed this book, but they didn't destroy it. And that's the big thing. They didn't destroy what they had. They just really, really liked it. And they just kept, you know, reading it and, you know, had it for a long time. And just, you know, when the time came, just let it go. So, you know, glad to have this in my collection because, you know, I don't have many Silver Age books, so I'm glad to be picking up some Silver Age. Continuing on, we have issue number 143. And this one's actually in pretty good shape for what it is. I mean, if you look at the colors are very nice. Spine has some ticks, but nothing really, like, you know, extremely, like, excruciatingly bad. And then, you know, the corners all seem to be, you know, pretty nice and round. You know, and I'm going to go ahead and take a look inside the book as well because, you know, I don't, you know, it doesn't look as though there's any water damage. There's no ripples. There's no bends or anything like that, you know, or no stains that kind of give it away. But, I mean, for $3, because at the time, it's, now, the guy gave it to me for $3. You know what I mean? The $3 price tag with 90% off. So, this book I got for 30 cents. I'm not going to argue with that. That's perfect. And then, moving on, we have issue number 145, and you know, again, not a key really. The only thing that happens in this one is that Ma and Pa Kent basically, you know, return to their youth. They become younger and stuff. So it's just like, you know, but looking at it, you know, looks like there might be a little bit of spine roll, as you can see the staples up around here, but nothing too bad, though. I mean, still in pretty good shape. So, again, just happy to have it. And then continuing with the Silver Age, we have Jimmy Olsen, number 118. And regardless of any of it, like, so it's like, you know, the hippie Olsen's Hayden. So, you know, you just have a bunch of people, you know, protesting on Superman. I love that he's getting an egg in the face. Like, I love Superman. Don't get me wrong. You know, I'm a big fan of Superman, and this is another 30-cent issue too. You know, I do like Superman. I think he's great. I think that part of his problem, part of why people don't like him so much, is because he's, you know, the Boy Scout. He's, you know, just the embodiment of, you know, doing the right thing and everything like that. And sometimes you want your heroes to get a little dirty. The other thing about him too that a lot of people really get annoyed with, and it's even annoyed me a little bit, is that during this time, so pre-Crisis Superman was pretty much unstoppable. I mean, he could do just about anything. It seemed like in every few books, if you look at the different powers that they gave him over the Silver Age and, you know, early Bronze Age and stuff, I mean, he literally could do just about anything. He could split himself into smaller Supermen that were all just as strong as him. You know, he had, you know, power of flight, super strength. I mean, there's one point where he's basically lassoed a bunch of planets together and just, you know, just is tugging them like Santa Claus. So, I mean, he definitely gets a little bad rap just because a lot of people would just be like, you know, he's too powerful. And they've done a lot to, you know, kind of depower him and make him more relatable. But, I mean, and there's definitely people that have put him in his place that, you know, some of which you wouldn't think would be able to. But, I like this cover just because, it's back in the time where, like, he was pretty much invincible. And even then, people were just like, you know what? We don't like Superman that much. So you see him, throwing, even though it seems like it's like a kind of one-off scenario, he's still getting an egg thrown in his face, which is pretty cool. So, and finally, we have the last book, and this is actually kind of cool. This one is definitely, it's definitely had its share of, I don't know, time spent with, probably a couple of different owners. It's seen some things, and it's kind of beat up, and I am not ashamed to own it though, because of the fact that it is probably, well, I'm not gonna say probably, it is now the oldest comic that I own, and as far as the age of the comic, and like I said, it's definitely had its battles. It's got some battle scars, not gonna lie to you, but it's just something really cool to add to my collection. And so we have Superman number 138. Now, as you can see, just by looking at the cover, there is some huge creases in the top here. I mean, it goes without saying that the pages are, well, actually, the pages aren't so bad. They're kind of like off-white. But when you look at the cover, I mean, there's definitely some color loss. You can see it right here, here, and over here. There's a little on his cape. No water damage as far as I can tell, so that's pretty cool. But the staples, so if you look in the spine, staples are attached. I mean, the cover's still attached and everything like that. But, it's definitely got some wear on it. And, it's definitely, like I said, it's a book that's definitely been read. Somebody really enjoyed it. A few people probably really enjoyed it. And, for me, I'm just happy to have, a really old issue of Superman because of the fact that this is my first and only, right now, 10-cent issue. So this is from 1960, which means it's at the very, 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 very beginning of the Silver Age. When I first picked it up, I was like, holy shit, a golden age, because I saw, the price tag was 10 cents. And, I was actually kind of happy to find this just because it was just sitting in the bin. And, for a $25 price tag, obviously, if the sale wasn't on, I can understand some people be like, I don't want to pay that much for this. Because, I mean, when you look at it with all the defects and everything, this is probably if I was going to grade it myself, I would say it's probably like fair to fair minus, maybe. But the thing is, it's an older book. It's definitely something that, obviously is not going to, like, I'm not going to go to a Heritage auction and be like, look what I got. I'm expecting to cash out and make tons of money. Absolutely not. Like, this is just something that I'm just glad to have. It's, the oldest book I own now. And, it's, like I said, just a really cool thing to have in my collection. So, I lucked out because now these books, all of them except for the first, except for the Metal Men, Captain Marvel, and the Submariner, the first three were ones I picked up on Saturday. The rest of them, the Superboy, the Jimmy Olsen, and the Superman were all ones I picked up on Comic Book Wednesday, this past Wednesday. So, yesterday, basically, because this video is being recorded on Thursday. So, people passed up on these just because they don't look as pretty. They're kind of, some of them have some page yellowing, some of them have some creases, some of them have, hair, but overall, they're not in horrendous shape. That So I was happy to scoop up those, and it's just one of those things where, my local shop has some good stuff from time to time. They had a lot of really good stuff as I picked up a bunch. I would have had a choice of a few more issues. Like I got the best of, I guess, what was left. There's still some things there. If you're really, really searching, or if you have to fill in some holes, there's still some things you can pick up. I mean, they haven't completely taken every last good issue out of there, but, you're going to have to do some digging. There was a guy who came in, and it's kind of funny, too. On Saturday, I got to the store at 11:15, and they open at 11. And there was a guy who got there, must have been there just as soon as they opened. And, so I spent... total for what I got for the price of everything as far as Saturday, I'm going to give you Saturday's number. I spent $37 for all that. And when it comes down to it, it's just like, 90% off. Like, that's what I went there to get. I just went straight tunnel vision, bought those. On the Comic Book Wednesday haul and last Friday's haul, I spent, $30 each on each of those because I have new books. But I was able to get a lot of good stuff for cheap. But this guy came in on that Saturday, and he filled up a long box. So there was a long box full of stuff that I remember the day before that was there. There was some Star Wars comics. There was some, I think, a few more Submariners. There was a bunch of Thors, and there was, the Thors weren't keys. I looked them up, and it was just like, maybe I'll pick them up, maybe I won't. And then there was a couple of Logan's Runs, but not number 6. And so this dude picked all those up, and then he had a whole bunch of other ones that he just, stacked in there. By the time he was done, he had that whole long box, so 300 books stacked in there. And then he put a bunch of other ones stacked on top of those. So when he went to, literally he had probably about 400 books on there. He must have spent, because I'm just going off the prices and everything, he must have spent probably close to $400 or $500 on that day on books that would marked down to 90% off. So he actually went ahead and just, put his whole collection in there. And it's just I don't know specifically what he was looking for, but he skipped out on all these Silver Age books. He didn't care. So, sometimes it's just the big name stuff people just go directly for. I'm happy that I was able to pick up this, so that makes me really happy, and I'm glad that, I have these in my collection now. So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this series. I want to end this video, and I want to thank everybody who watched. Even if you watched, just one part, 2 parts, thank you for watching. If this is the only video of my haul that you watched, thank you. I'm just happy to have you on board. I'm happy that you came ahead and watched it. I would hope that you will go ahead and watch, the whole series in its entirety, because I'm, organizing a playlist for my actual whole summer sale. So, I hope you guys will go back and watch it. If you haven't, if you've seen every video up until then, and you want to relive it, be my guest. If you haven't seen it, if you're a new subscriber of mine and you maybe jumped on a few days ago, if this is your first video of mine watching, go back and watch the playlist. I have a bunch of different really cool stuff on there. As always, thank you for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. This is Buckshot33, aka Boston Chris. Happy collecting. Everybody have a great night and a great weekend going forward. I am out. Thank you again for watching. Have a great night.